What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Knock Stiff Golf. Alaska just had one of the biggest earthquakes it's ever had in 50 years this morning, and we're going to be talking about training aids. So let's get started. Well, so we're kind of getting hit with some aftershock here from the earthquake this morning. Little vibrations that kind of pick up every once in a while and shake the house. So forgive me if you can pick that up on the video. We're going to work through it anyway, though, and get through this video. So. Alright, what's going on, everybody? First, to just address the earthquake. Went off about 8:30 this morning when I was off at work. I work on the 10th floor of a tower, and needless to say, this 7.2 earthquake was shaking rather aggressively while I was up there. It was quite an adventure, and we're still repairing a bunch of stuff from it today. There's roads that have been damaged, people have lost power, there's all sorts of things that need to be fixed. Keep your thoughts with everybody that's here in Alaska right now trying to get through this, and I'm sure we will. We always do. It's something we've grown accustomed to over time, but still is a scary situation. As a golfer, after I made sure my family was safe, my next thought was that I really hope nothing happened to my clubs in my garage. And I know there was some other things that I thought about before that, but you know, those are an investment piece that you always hope are safe. Luckily, they're fine. They're sitting upright. Nothing was damaged on them, so I'm happy about that. But now we're going to talk about training aids. There's 3 training aids that I kind of currently use right now that I absolutely love. Now, we all know that there's about 1 million training aids out there on the marketplace that can make you, frankly, a worse golfer, in my opinion. You can have way too many things going through your head while trying to get these training aids to work for you, or swing like the training aid wants you to, which may just never be natural for you. So we're gonna go over 3 that I think generally would help most anybody. And the first one we're gonna talk about is the Dirty Larry putting aid. So this is a cool little piece right here. Attaches right to your putter, and what you can do is when it's on the shaft of the putter, you can adjust this so that when you're looking down the line, you can see basically the line of your putt extended. So you'll know if the face is square to the target, and actually you get to use the same putter you use every time, and it just kind of allows you to check your alignment a little bit more often. The reason I like this so much is you're not using a training aid other than the club that you have. Your club is what you get to use, and this just helps you kind of with your aim, making sure that the face isn't open or too closed, and you can kind of watch how the club face is manipulated on the backswing and forward swing. So it's kind of nice to just see where the club face is throughout the swing and work on setting up square or however you set up that you're going to be putting for. So I really enjoy this. It's super affordable. I'll be posting the price down below because I want to say it might have changed price over the last little time period. So if not, you need to go check out these guys, Dirty Larry Golf. They got some pretty great stuff. This came with a koozie that said "Friends don't let friends 3-putt," which I thought was a really great thing that I threw in my golf bag. So I always use that for when I'm out on the course, and it's usually a good opener for when you're playing with people. So check them out. Next, we have theHANGER. Now, a lot of people, when they're playing golf, they'll go see a swing coach to some extent, and they'll hold their club like normal, and then a lot of times they'll either put some sort of clothes hanger in here that you can hold to kind of keep this, well, right-handed, your forearm kind of more flat. A lot of people like look at Dustin Johnson and see how bowed his wrist is on the backswing. And I'm not saying that you need to be that extreme, but a lot of times you want to keep this wrist flat at the top, left-handed, right-handed. So theHANGER is a great little tool that I found actually a couple years ago, and they sent me one. I am a left-handed golfer. They sent me a right-handed one. I think this was actually before they even made a left-handed one, which they do now. And I've managed to be able to use it on my clubs and just kind of manipulate it a little bit. So it looks something like this. So this attaches to the butt of the club right here. And then the shaft runs down here and you connect this so that when you are holding your club, you have this club face right here to see what the club face is doing in the backswing. And basically, you're just trying to keep your forearm against this part right here. So when you're in the backswing, if you're too cupped, there won't be any contact right there. So you want to keep it like this. So it allows you to kind of keep that feeling throughout the swing, and then you'll notice that the club face is square with that. And that's what you want throughout the swing, to come through neutral. Now, a lot of times there can be some things in your swing that will change that. For instance, there's a few guys that hit on the PGA from position with a cupped wrist like this. And I just watched it, and what that requires for him is to use his body to catch up and square to that club face. And forgive me for forgetting his name, but I thought that was very odd because I've always kind of been taught you either want flat, or bowed. And so it just really depends on your swing, but I found this to be a very useful tool to be able to tell you where you're at with your wrist, and you're generally better off to keep it pretty neutral and flat. That's usually a safe place to start, and then you can find out what works for you from there. That brings me to my last thing that I've really enjoyed. I've had them for about 2 years now, and it is something that you'll see a lot of times on Instagram, and other people, long drive guys, are especially using this. And even if you watch the match with Tiger and Phil this last week, you'll notice that Phil was using these. And these are the SuperSpeed Golf swing speed trainer, basically. So what it is 3 different clubs that, for the club heads, they're different weights. And so they have this program that you can work through where you start off with the lightest club and you're swinging very aggressively, left-handed or right-handed, whatever you are naturally, and then you're swinging the opposite way. And I'll show you guys what I mean by this. And what this is supposed to do is over time is train you to increase your club head speed. So you're working through a lighter club all the way up to a heavier club in hopes that you're going to be building swing speed over time. Now, I find this useful because everybody wants to hit the ball further to an extent. I've given up some yards over the years to try to find the fairway more often, but I do enjoy hitting the long ball. Everybody does they love to try to outdrive their friends. That's part of the fun of golf, is being the long ball hitter. And so these have come in use for me during the winter time because I'm able to swing these in the garage, and it's more of just feeling a groove swing over and over again, and I'm working up the weights to kind of keep that swing ingrained in my head and keep it smooth. And so if I can pick up a few yards following the program over time, I think that's great, and I think everybody should try it. So if you're in the market, I mean, it's a little spendier, and again, I'll put the price down below, but go check it out. It's www.superspeedgolf.com, and you'll see these all over the place, especially on social media, because they've done a really good job of marketing these to different athletes. So go check them out. So that kind of wraps it up for this week's video. I know I put one out earlier this week that kind of went over some putting, and now we're kind of talking about some of my favorite training aids. Again, they're the Dirty Larry Golf putting aid that helps you with alignment, with seeing how your face is set up when you're addressing the ball. And then you have Watson Golf. They are the ones that developed the hanger, and I think that's a really good training aid for checking where your wrist angle is during the swing. And for me, it's this wrist, being a lefty. And I think that's really important just to be aware of how that is affecting in your swing. So pick one of those up online, and I'll put a link below for that as well. And then finally is the SuperSpeed Golf weighted clubs that will help you develop some more yards over time if you follow their system to swing a few mile an hour faster over time. So I think those are a really good variety of things that you can be working on. One's for putting, one's could be for chipping, full swing, whatever you want in between. And then you have the last one, the SuperSpeed, to help you pick up a few more miles an hour in club head speed. So kind of covers the full gamut of golf for useful training aids that I think aren't full of BS. So I actually have 2 more coming in the mail that I'm excited to do a review on, and I think you'll be familiar with at least one of them. So that's the Tour Striker Smart Ball that I think mainly Justin Rose has kind of made famous, and you'll see it all over the internet as well, but I think that's another one that's applicable where you can actually use your real clubs, which to me is what you need to be doing when you're training. So thank you again for tuning in. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have a training aid that works better for you than the ones I suggested? If so, I'd love to hear about them. So other than that, keep in touch, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.